Hello, and welcome to For Better or Worse, a movie and TV podcast. The podcast where we review movies and TV. Follow us on Instagram at FBOW_podcast and on YouTube at FBOW podcast to show your support and tell us how much you like us. I'm Toby.
I'm Gino. Toby, can you please do that again in an Elvis voice?
Hello. No,
Oh,
wait.
God.
Let me try it again. Thank you very much. Hello, and welcome to For Better or Worse.
You gotta shake
movie
your
and
pelvis and
TV
make people very
podcast.
upset about it.
The podcast where we review movies and TV. Nah, I'm not good at it. But I have to say that's the best I've done ever since we started. So
And I interrupted it.
And you interrupted it,
Yep.
but you know what? I did it. So good job, me.
Yeah.
I'll work on my Elvis
This is your first
impression.
episode. Toby and I, we review movies and we're married and we do TV and we're also married still.
And guess what movie we're doing?
I hope it's Elvis because I said it. If you didn't guess it by the title of the podcast or the video at this point.
Hunka burning
Okay,
love.
yeah, they did not play that song.
Yes, they did.
All right, non-spoiler review.
Right. They played Hunk of Burning Love. Spoiler.
Did they? When?
They did, because it's my favorite Lilo and Stitch song, and they played it. And I was
Just go watch
This
Lilo.
is from Lilo and Stitch.
Is Lilo and Stitch a better Elvis movie than Elvis?
I mean, I guess, no, but they definitely love Elvis in it.
I guess I should give the backstory of the movie for people who don't know. So this was a side character
non-spoiler?
in the Walk the Line movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. There's this character in the side called Elvis. He's like a side character.
He's not that important.
And yeah, he's like whatever. He's like not as important as Joaquin Phoenix character. Johnny
Cash?
Walker. Cash. Johnny Cash.
Oh.
Yep, a fictional
Walker's alcohol.
character. So I guess they, waited 15 years, and this is another side character from
Johnny
that movie.
Ca-
Joaquin Phoenix isn't in it though.
Right, but also, Johnny, I'm just trying to stick with you. This is all a joke, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Toby, for ruining my joke.
Sorry, everybody. I was like, I just want you to be clear. Johnny Cash.
Yeah,
real
so
person.
but
Sorry,
yes.
and.
I do remember Elvis being in Johnny Cash.
I didn't see it.
Not Johnny Cash.
Walk the Line. I didn't see it.
I remember it being good. So this is not. It has nothing to do with Walk the Line. But this is starring some guy playing Elvis.
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler, who
Yes.
I think is just Is he an Elvis impersonator they found, or like?
No, he's an actual actor. He was on, so I feel like a lot of people know him from the Carrie Diaries. I knew him from Nothing. Gino knows him from Nothing. But essentially, the movie is actually about Tom Hanks's character.
Yeah.
His agent, manager, whatever.
He's like the villain / narrator. This is very much like a movie about the bad guy, like as narrated by the bad guy.
Yes. And it so
Tom Hanks plays
Colonel Tom Parker. It's directed and written by Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann? Sorry, I think it's Baz Luhrmann.
Baz Luhrmann. This is the Moulin Rouge guy.
Right. And he also did another movie I didn't see.
I don't know. But I'm learning. So, I'll spoilers for my review right now. A lot of the stuff I don't like about this movie is apparently like Baz Luhrmann things that he does in all
Baz
his movies,
Luhrmann-y?
which is what someone told me that when we went to go see the movie. So, I guess my non-spoiler review, since I interrupted Toby, which is like my thing.
I don't know why you asked me first.
I don't know, because I'm like sitting there waiting for a thing to interrupt you with.
You just go.
So Tom Hanks, I thought did a great job. You forget that it's Tom Hanks. Whoever did Tom Hanks' makeup did a great job because he ages throughout the film. Mm-hmm. So you can there's never a point where you're watching it and you're like, oh, that's makeup. It's just like,
Right.
oh, this person's naturally. It's like watching Harry Potter. Like, oh, he's just naturally aging as these movies go along.
Yeah.
So it just looks like Tom Hanks is just getting older. He's wearing a fat suit. It's like a fat guy.
Yeah, I'd say the fat suit is a weird shape.
I don't know enough about the real person that Tom Hanks is playing to know if he's doing a good job impersonating him. It's like, whoever Elvis's manager was, someone like Carney that discovered Elvis
But from
and just ripped him off his whole life.
From the Netherlands area.
Yeah, you find out at some point in the movie that he's not actually a citizen and that he has all these gambling debts and he's kind of forcing Elvis to play.
Are these all spoilers?
It's a real life person. I guess you can't
so.
really do spoilers for this movie because
Right,
it happened in real life.
It's all based on actual events.
I guess that's technically spoilers, but it's a real life thing.
Right. So if you didn't know the story of Colonel Tom Parker, then
that's it.
That's the
all right. So
story.
real quick, for better or worse, non-spoiler, go.
Oh, for better. No, this is my own opinion.
No, I'm talking about me.
I know you are, but you're going to disagree with me, and I'm going to say my opinion is for better. I really liked, non-spoilery things, I really liked the music added. I really liked the pacing of the story. I thought it was long, but the pacing was still really good. I thought everybody did a great job with every single character. Sorry, Mike. Every single character. I thought the acting was phenomenal. I thought Austin Parker did an amazing job playing Elvis. And throughout the movie, you'd be like, hey, is this the real Elvis? And you'd be like, oh, no, it's still Austin Butler just being awesome. I thought the shots were really great. I thought the transitions from past to the present of the movie were awesome. They never had me bored. I felt it was long, but not boring. And so my review is for better. Okay,
mine is like for better as well, but all this positive stuff that Toby listed, I also liked. There's some negatives that I have. The Baz Luhrmann thing that I don't like, which is apparently a Baz Luhrmann thing, is like you're doing a movie about one of the most famous and like highly regarded musicians of all time, Elvis, and his interactions with other musicians, specifically black musicians at the time in like Memphis and everything like that. And so you have all of these songs you could choose from, like literally like unlimited
from the
songs.
1950s,
from the
1940s,
from the 40s, from this, like you have all these period songs you could have chose. And there's like rap in it, and there's like hip hop, and like there's hip hop beat. Like there's one scene that like really took me out of it, where he's walking down the street in Memphis. It's like before he's really famous.
Beale
he's only
Street?
locally, so he's like only locally famous. And there's like a hip hop beat, like a modern, and I think Nicki Minaj or like someone starts rapping,
was singing,
or
yeah.
I think it's either Doja Cat. Why is Doja Cat on this album? Like why? It's about Elvis and like. Little Richard's on the movie, and like all these like
BB King.
BB
so,
King,
where's
like
your...
play those songs or songs like that. So when you're doing a period piece that's about music, and instead of playing that music in the background or music that's similar to it, you start playing like clearly 2020 music, it kind of pulls me out of it.
Right, and so right, so Gino didn't like that, and one of my favorite movies is Moulin Rouge. Which takes place in like French
but
revisionist.
It's fictional.
Right, but what I'm saying is this more present movement, this place. Sorry, I'm gonna try again.
This takes place.
This takes place in like French, like I don't remember what the time period is, but like I feel like 1900s.
Are people getting decapitated?
No, not that late.
That.
I'd say like 1900s. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it. And they play Voulez-vous, like Lady Marmalade is like one of the songs in it.
Yeah, that's from like the 70s, the 60s.
No, but it's
like,
the new one.
Yeah, but I give it a pass because that's a fictional story.
Right, but this is what I'm telling you.
Baz Luhrmann.
Is that he likes present day music in period pieces. I'm not like I happen to like it. It didn't take me out of it.
I guess because like I'm just a really big fan of that era of music.
Yeah.
Like that I'm a little upset about it. That's so like thumbs. If this gets nominated for best soundtrack, I'm gonna smack somebody.
Gino's gonna write in.
So like as really good as like the makeup effects were, there were some CGI in this that like was really bad. Like there's some shots where there's like crane, like I guess fake crane shots where they have like the camera kind of swooping down into like a city, and it's like really bad CGI. I guess not bad enough for Toby to notice, but it pulled me again right out of it. You're doing a period piece. I guess those cities don't really exist anymore, or they didn't feel like going to shoot there, or like they couldn't shoot there because of COVID. But when you're doing like a really obnoxious crane shot and like the city looks like it's a bad episode of Reboot, it pulls me right out. You ever watch Reboot?
I don't know what that is.
It's a really bad CGI TV show. I just thought it looked pretty bad. Like you're filming in a city. Just go find a city. Just point your camera at a city.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
And you know what it kind of felt? It did feel like Moulin Rouge. Because I feel like Moulin Rouge, when I think about it in my head.
Moulin Rouge is very like...
I feel like I see a lot of crane shots. A lot of the camera like swooping around. Like, again, it works for Moulin Rouge. I remember liking Moulin Rouge. But this is like a period piece in like Memphis, Tennessee in the 60s. And I guess that was the 50s. You don't need that. You don't. There's not like a bunch of can-can dancers where like it looks cool when you do that. It was just like a car driving down a street.
I don't know. I mean, it's...
Save the money. You don't need to spend the money. Just point it at a building and then just do the thing.
Listen, I don't know why I'm going to be honest. I don't know why that bothers
Again,
you.
I think it's just Baz Luhrmann things. That just,
I guess so.
But with that
Yeah.
said, yes, I thought the two main actors were great. It's Tom Hanks. When are you ever going to do a bad
I was going to say,
Hanks?
what was a bad Tom Hanks movie? Anything?
Not that I've seen.
I feel like Lost in Trans. What was the one where he's like stuck in a airport?
Oh, isn't that?
Was that Lost in Translation?
Yeah, but isn't that
Oh, that's not him. That's Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. Isn't that a good movie? Billy Murray.
Hey,
we're
buddy.
We're good friends.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is so good that even when his brother, who plays Woody in like other things besides the movies, is also good.
Is so good.
Yeah.
And his son is good. One of them.
One of them. I don't know the other one.
Colin
But yeah, so
Hanks.
Tom Hanks is great. Mm-hmm. The main Elvis dude is great. There's like an ending. Again, we're kind of already in spoilers. It's Elvis's life. If you don't know that Elvis is dead at this point, it shows
which is controversial. Maybe
that Elvis
he's
is not dead. Him and Tupac and Biggie are all hanging out.
Just hanging out, playing
That's the
cards.
thing. Like, what kind of gets me out of this, like, having hip hop, because as Toby knows, I'm a big fan of rap music, and I have been since I was a little kid. Elvis kind of died before rap music was like really a thing. So to have that kind of music in this instead of the music that is actually of the time, I guess I'm saying the same point over again. Whatever. So Elvis, they show his last show, and they show the main actor playing Elvis. Austin Butler. He's now Fat Elvis. He's got the makeup, and I remember looking at his eyes and being like, wow, like this is the first shot where the makeup looks pretty bad. His eyes look terrible.
But
then they switched to the real Elvis.
You're like,
I was like, oh, that's what it looked like on the
not doing great.
So then I was like, oh wow, they did an amazing job with the makeup.
Was fantastic.
He looked great. Like that. There was no point in the movie where I thought the makeup looked like makeup, except for that one shot, which it turns out that's because the real Elvis was on like drugs, and that's what he looked like.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm ready.
So spoilers. So I say for better.
Cool, for better. Okay, so just things. I don't think we need to like recap the movie. I think we just recap things that we liked.
Just go to Wikipedia, type in Elvis Presley, look up his life.
Right. So things that I really liked. Immediately they caught me with the beginning, right? Because you have Colonel Tom Parker in like getting rushed to the hospital, and the transitions between him like being sick and him at a casino starting to narrate the story.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's modern times, but it's not. It's like 97, I think.
Right. Whenever he died.
He's
We didn't do a great job.
People say I killed Elvis, but he has like a weird Cartman-y voice.
He does have a weird voice, and I listened to a interview from Tom Hanks. I think he was on Seth Meyers, and Tom Hanks, when he was explaining like when he was approached for the role, Baz Luhrmann
Did they just walk up with a fat suit and were like, "We'll let
"Here,
you wear it"?
Well, he was like,
"We'll put cooling vents."
He was like, "Why are you talking to me about this movie?" He's like, "Well, it's an Elvis movie." He's like, "Again, like, why are you talking to me?"
We need you to play a fat old guy,
right? Who has a weird accent.
It's like, oh,
do it. And honestly, Tom Hanks did a really great job. Like the whole time, I knew it was Tom Hanks. But it didn't take me out of it. I was like,
see, I forgot, which like
you did.
Yeah, I forgot because like not that you ever. I guess like I'm just saying like he did such a good job that I never thought in my head like, oh, that's Tom Hanks.
He did do such a good job.
Yeah.
He also like the idea that it was narrated again. Baz Luhrmann does narrations. Like Moulin Rouge was narrated by Ewan McGregor, which you might not remember, but like I love Moulin Rouge. So like
we've been hating on Ewan McGregor a lot in this podcast. So
listen, Ewan McGregor in Moulin Rouge is my passion. I love him. Love is a many splendid thing. Love lifts you up.
She said it before the podcast.
I'm going to say it every time I think of Moulin Rouge. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Should we watch the prequels and then Moulin Rouge to get like the full scope of Ewan McGregor's? I think so. Then we got to watch that TV show he did on the motorcycle. He just drove around on a motorcycle.
Listen, I'm not like hating on Ewan McGregor. I'm just hating on some of the characters he plays. Anyway.
But yeah, Tom Hanks, thumbs up.
Tom Hanks did great.
I was going to say, like, he's, in terms of, like, you don't ever think that he's Tom Hanks. Because, like, whenever I see, like, a Will Smith movie,
you're like,
it's like, oh, that's Will Smith. Or, like, The Rock. Like, that's what I'm worried about Black Adam. Which we will talk about Black Adam and Shazam and Captain Marvel in this, because it's in the movie.
Right. We're not going to talk about Black Adam.
I'm going to talk about Captain Marvel.
Okay.
So, like, what I'm worried about is, like, oh, that's The Rock. He's going to play The Rock. So, like, Tom Hanks is, like, a good actor, so he does a good job.
And I think that's what, so just something else about this movie is like Harry Styles auditioned to be Elvis. No. the reason that he wasn't cast is because he's already too big.
he's Harry Styles.
Right, he's Harry Styles. So if you looked at this
Some
character...
might say he's bigger than Elvis.
Some might. I
people
wouldn't.
would be wrong.
I don't think people throw panties at...
Harry Styles, they probably do.
They probably do,
but
actually.
like they started it with Elvis.
Right.
He invented getting
Elvis
panties
throwing
for Adam.
panties.
Like when he was French kissing his wife in the movie. Remember the scene where he's like playing in the theater in the Vegas and he starts French kissing all the girls in front of his wife? And I'm like, wow, that really sucks. Then again, they showed at the end actual footage
of Elvis doing that.
making out with
Just making out with a bunch of women. Like Elvis.
Oh my God.
That's tough. That's a tough look.
She didn't care, I guess.
She
Whatever.
definitely did care.
It's not the worst thing that happened to her. In her
I
life.
mean, I guess not.
Her
But
daughter has a kid with Michael Jackson.
Anyway, the point I'm saying is that like Harry Styles would have taken us out.
Yeah.
Austin Butler, since none of us knew him, we weren't like, oh, it's Austin Butler.
Is Austin Butler American?
Yes.
Because I think I'd be personally offended if a British person played.
Played Elvis.
Elvis?
No, yeah. Austin Butler is American. And just okay, so we talked about how great Tom Hanks was. We can talk about how great Austin Butler was. I also heard that he
got some lips on him, man.
He does.
I wonder,
well,
are
I
those
think
prosthetic?
yes, because I think they got bigger over time to like mirror what
Yeah, I
happened
was gonna say
with
they
Elvis.
those are like Elvis's lips. I didn't really even realize like, oh, that's makeup.
Right. Well, they did at first. They
Prosthetic.
started off like quite thin, the top lip, and then over time, I saw that they like got thicker, which is
Yes.
and Elvis had a lot of plastic surgery.
I did not know that.
What?
That he had a lot of
Because he
plastic
just
surgery.
looked so different. He like looked
I thought it
very.
was the drugs.
Oh.
But yeah, you can see his like cheeks getting bigger throughout the movie. Like his
Yeah, I mean, maybe he
cheekbones.
didn't have plastic surgery, but like I always was under the impression that he
I just thought
did.
it was like weird.
Yeah, he ended up looking like quite weird, like fat Elvis. Oh, fat Elvis.
Yeah, but I would have loved. I mean, he died 13 years before I was born, but like
Right.
I would have loved to see Elvis.
Oh,
live.
it would have been.
He'd be what in his 80s now? If he was still alive?
Well, he was your
My
grandma's
grandma's
age.
age, yeah. So please, people see Billy Joel and he's like 70 something.
I know, honestly. So, what else was surprising? Well, okay, we're going too far. So Austin Butler did a great job. I thought Baby Elvis, like young Elvis, also did such a good job.
Yeah. So okay, like now this is a Warner Brothers movie. So I was sitting there like, could you relax? So the movie starts out after you have the narration from
Colonel Tom Parker.
Colonel Tom Parker. It shows Elvis as a baby, as a kid in a poor.
No, not yet, because then he has to go.
I'm just skipping to that part.
Okay, we're skipping to it. Well, so this happens like a little bit after he meets Elvis.
Yeah,
Yeah, we get to hear
yeah,
Elvis's
yeah.
story.
So like basically Elvis is like a little kid and he wears like a lightning bolt on his chest because his favorite movie character is Captain Marvel, but
Marvel.
not like Captain Marvel the Marvel one. Captain Marvel the like Shazam character who used to be called Captain Marvel, who when Elvis was a kid was more popular than Superman, so it makes sense.
Right.
And then I was like, this is dumb, Warner Brothers, stop showing this. Like no one's going to see your stupid movie. And then again, every time I said like, wow, this is ridiculous, they showed a video clip of Elvis being like, yeah, my favorite comic book character is
Right.
Captain Marvel.
So, like, they know
and I
about
used to
it.
pretend I'm a superhero. Like I love superheroes. I'm a
Yeah.
superhero. And there's a couple shots where like you see Elvis like singing and doing his stuff. And like there's just like a look in his eye. I'm like, yeah, Elvis probably did think he was a superhero.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like he definitely was like
For
obsessed.
sure.
And like
Well, that's
Yeah.
essentially like what it was. So, like, something else that I thought was really cool, because I don't know much about Elvis aside from like, I really like his
I
music.
just like his music. Right. I don't know anything about it.
Right. But the fact that he was influenced so much by black culture and black music.
Some might say stole.
Yeah, that was.
I think they made it pretty clear in this. There's one point where
He's like, I'd love to sing that
yeah,
song.
so he's like, did he write any of his music? I was like, copyright laws were different back
Right?
then, but
'Cause
like
the Hound
he's
Dog
straight-
seems to come from somebody else.
if you look at this movie, there he like goes to some like because he lives in like a segregation. He's like the one white family in like a segregation town, like a black town. And he would like sneak into this like black church, and that's where he heard all the gospel music.
Right, or
and
like
he saw this guy.
there was like a little club, like a secret barn that
and
they
this
would
guy's
go
like,
in.
and like the song that the guy's playing in the movie
ends up being
like 10, 15 years later is like Elvis's first hit. So like, he
Right.
just straight up stole.
So the question
But
becomes
yeah,
like,
copyright laws were different back then.
well, it also becomes like, is that like creative liberty, or is that true?
And they kind of mentioned in the movie that like because Elvis is white, that he's able to take these very black sounding music
Mm-hmm.
genres and music genres that come from black artists and make more money off of it because people are racist.
Right. So I mean, what was also really cool is that Elvis's first label was one that wanted to put out black artists.
Ugh, the woke libs again. These 1950s woke libs.
Right? Ugh, trying to put good music out there for people to listen
Affirmative
to.
action strikes again.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
like
Sun Records, they like specifically, it's an album, it's a label that tries to promote black artists.
Right, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then so they found Elvis and they were playing Elvis and Elvis was on the radio. And that's where we have Colonel Tom Parker finds out about him and then like brings him on his tour of this like boring white band.
Oh yeah, like classic country music, like Hank Williams Sr. country music.
And then my question was, I asked Gino during the movie, I was like, are white people were they this boring?
So I had to break it to you. Country music still sucks.
I like country
It's still boring.
It's not boring.
Like if Elvis is not considered country music by like this movie standards, like I like Elvis music, I like Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I can't stand country music.
I don't know
yeah,
why you
and I
can't.
still can't stand country music.
It's great.
So this movie further solidifies my idea that country music sucks.
Oh God, it was so boring.
But yes, Toby, like yes, it's boring. It was boring back then. It's boring now.
It's not boring now.
Yes.
No. I stand for you, country music.
Boo.
So
Rock and roll. Woo.
I mean, like, I'm also into rock and roll. Like, I love how. What's happening? Sorry, my Apple Watch is going insane right now.
Is the salesman back to sell us more
More pesticide.
pesticide? Toby, against all rules of being a millennial, answered the door when someone knocked. Are you crazy?
Sorry.
There's this salesman just like pestering us to buy. Like, relax. Bugs exist.
Pestering
It's fine.
us to buy pesticide. And
Like-
we're like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
Please
enough.
give us your card. And he's
Go
like,
away.
okay. And then never gave us a card.
And
I'm
like Toby's too polite to say no, and I don't want to interrupt my beautiful wife.
in real life.
In real life.
On the
On the
podcast,
podcast,
though, not a problem.
So yeah, country music sucks. Everyone should stop listening to it.
Right. But okay, so other awesome things. So like Little Richard was in the movie. Like
Little Richard's eyelashes are in the movie. I don't know if it was actual Little Richard had these, or the actor, or if it was makeup, or like.
Right, whatever. But
there's-
so long. That part was so awesome. Every time he went back to Beale Street in Memphis, like it was a great scene.
Yeah, it's like that's like his safe zone. When he got like fed up with
Right.
all of the nonsense,
He went.
he would go back to Beale Street.
Right.
And there's a lot of, and I imagine this happened in real life because they showed news articles about it, where basically Elvis in his early years when he was getting popular, in a lot of like segregationist states, was getting in trouble for being like too black, like for dancing like black. Apparently that was against the law.
Right.
Like,
apparently he almost got. First of all,
he gets arrested at some point in the movie
I just
for
want
dancing.
to point out, cancel culture existed back then. Y'all need
The
to
woke libs
stop.
strike. Oh wait, sorry. The unwoke conservative
We're gonna
cancel
cancel
culture.
Elvis.
I mean, they did cancel Elvis. He got arrested and sent to the army.
Right, because he was
Toby,
wiggling
please. Cancel
can't.
culture started in 2021.
with us.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's created by CNN
Sorry.
and Twitter. Okay.
Canceling. What it was? I don't even know.
Somehow it was actually the libs.
Yeah, that did cancel culture.
The
And
racist libs,
I just wanna point
pro-segregation libs that
Wait.
arrested. Yeah.
Baz Luhrmann was clear about that because he wrote cancel.
Oh, they
Elvis.
said canceled 30 times. Did he write the
Right.
script?
Yes.
Yeah, he wrote. He said,
Yeah.
because in the movie he's talking about literally getting canceled off TV,
Right.
because he's trying to go on all these late night shows and they won't let him dance on the late night shows.
he's spreading.
He wiggles his hips.
He wiggles his hips. And
Braziers start flying off.
I just have to say
underpants.
that first scene where they have Elvis on stage wiggling and the women are like realizing something
Like,
is happening to
sex?
them.
Sex exists,
Right. And you have Colonel Tom Parker narrating these
Yeah. Freaking Vince McMahon in the
what's
corner.
it called? What's it called when you like realize your sexual awakening? Like all of these women
Yeah.
are having a sexual awakening, being like hot and bothered, like
All he's doing is like wiggling his thighs a little bit.
Yeah, like doing his Elvis shake.
Yeah.
It's like up here, and these women are just like realizing like this is what I'm missing in my life.
Yeah. So people got very upset about that. Yeah. There's one point they like try to put him in like a tux. And like,
And they brought out a dog.
Yeah,
to
they,
like
made fun of him.
Hound Dog, and like
I was hoping they would show the clip of him, which I've seen in real life, of it's him and Frank Sinatra on some like late night show or like fundraiser.
I remember that clip.
And like you could just see Frank Sinatra being like very upset and like trying his best to not get mad. That like you can see he clearly dislikes Elvis. But yeah, like Frank Sinatra is like the music of the time. You know, Elvis is like the Takeshi 6ix9ine of the time, like the rebel. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for Elvis fans.
This is not something.
Takeshi 6ix9ine sucks.
Okay.
Come out to Dick Sills.
Oh, is that a singer?
He's a rapper.
Rapper.
He's very bad.
I don't know things.
Yeah, I could generally figure out a kid's GPA by how much they like
Yikes.
Takeshi 6ix9ine. So like, you know, he represented just like everything that racists disliked.
Right. Like he was rebellious. He loved black culture. He wanted to celebrate it by putting it in his music, by putting it in his dance moves. So that was also like really interesting for me to see, and how involved he was in movements, or like how much he cared. Like,
yeah, I don't know if that's real or not. I imagine it is.
Of course,
he's like heartbroken when MLK gets shot.
He's heartbroken when all the Kennedys get shot.
One of the Kennedys shot. I mean, like, you know, everyone loves a good civil rights leader movie about a white person. Everyone loves it.
Right, like that's
so
what
like, I don't
people
know
are
how
looking
much of that
for.
is exaggerated or not. But I imagine Elvis was probably, I don't know, like, if you're going to steal black culture, you might as well like appreciate it.
Right.
Like,
and it seemed like he was like friends with B.B. King.
Yeah. I hope all that was real.
I do too. I'm not going to look it up.
Yeah. And like, I know I've seen they did show the interview before where like someone calls him the King of Rock.
Oh,
and
he's like, I'm
he's
not.
with someone else, and he's like, no, this guy is the King of Rock. Like, he's the person.
He seemed like a really
I stole from.
Right. He seemed like a real friendly dude that just like wanted to celebrate other musicians.
Who
that
wanted
did a
to
good job.
tour the world.
If
there's one thing I got from this movie, Elvis wanted to go on a world tour, and
just
he
like
wasn't allowed
share
to.
his music, and so essentially, like, this is the villain. Like, this is why Colonel Tom Parker
character
was the villain of the movie, because he used. And apparently, like, this was found out after Elvis's death. He was, like, sued. He kept Elvis in America to pay off of his debts. And, like...
And he wouldn't let Elvis leave his contract with him without giving him, like, $8 million, which would have made Elvis go broke.
Right. So, like, he, like, essentially, like, blackmailed
Elvis into staying at the International Casino and playing there exclusively
for years and
like
years.
On like, you know, domestic tours.
Yeah.
So I didn't know Elvis never
left.
Went on a world tour.
Ugh, and it's like, and it hurts. Like, I don't think coming into this I expected to feel
bad for Elvis.
And because, like, you know, he did drugs. You know that he like made bad choices. And then
apparently his wife was like super young when they met.
Right, like 10 years younger, like 15 and like 14 and 24. Yeah. Like, that's not great. So like at the end, when you see how badly Elvis just wanted to like share his music with the rest of the world.
And like he had fans overseas.
Yeah, like apparently he was asked to go to Japan, to Germany. Like
there's like a line like midway through the film where they're like, yeah, we found out you were offered like $1 million to play one show in Germany, and the colonel turned it down. He's like, oh, I wonder why that was happened.
Right. And so like, and he was trusting, and like that.
He had cool capes.
Like, honestly. So, okay. Gino has to, you guys are going to either hate me or love me for saying this. Let me know if you've seen Rockadoodle, which is
Rockadoodle probably based on Elvis?
Rockadoodle is a rooster based on Elvis.
Sure.
Who, like, they have, oh my God.
Did you just make the realization now?
Because Rockadoodle is forced to perform, and he doesn't get to leave. Huh? Oh my God.
Is this a better Elvis movie than Rockadoodle, or is Rockadoodle a better movie?
All right, we're gonna review it, and we're gonna compare it to Elvis.
Okay.
I'm not gonna taint Gino's views on it, but oh my God, Rockadoodle is one of my favorite movies.
Is it just this movie? Is there like an evil colonel character?
There's an evil owl that, like, yes. You guys.
All right.
Okay, anyway. Wow. I'm shook. I'm all shook up. Yeah.
Great. Good job, Tubbs.
Oh my God, my heart, you guys. It's racing.
God, you're ridiculous.
So what else do you... So anyway, cool capes. So like...
Oh, I was going to say, like, Elvis, I'm sure if I look this up, there's no way Elvis was not like a huge fan of wrestling. Like, a lot of
interesting. That's where you're coming from?
Because he's from the South. He's like a carny. Wrestling was huge at the time.
And all of his stuff is
wrestling.
His like costumes
are
very
wrestling.
showy,
It's
very
like
sparkly.
Ric Flair, and like Ric Flair ripped off someone else. So like, I am almost, without even looking it up, 100% certain Elvis must have been a fan of wrestling. He was already a comic book fan, so he's a big nerd.
Yeah, nerd.
So, yeah, there's absolutely no way Elvis was not a wrestling fan.
Okay, something that I need to talk about, and you will agree with me, is the intimacy between him and his mother.
Oh, yeah, that was like...
Was tough.
Yeah, there's like definitely scenes in the movie where I was like, Toby, is he going to make out with his mom?
So even the first time...
Is that a Southern thing?
There is definitely like tasteful ways to like deal with like mother-son relationships. That was like edible to me. Like where it was one of the first conversations they have, right? Or even the first time she's on screen.
He's like,
No, he was very close, like in her ear. Like they have an argument because Colonel wants to take Elvis on tour into like 4 different states, 4 nights. And she's like, I don't want you to go, Elvis. This is not what, like the Lord said, do not go make money.
Also, shocking to learn that Elvis was his real name. Like, that's a real name.
I know, Elvis Presley, great
Yeah, great name.
So
he's like, Mom, I'm gonna buy you a pink Cadillac.
I don't need a pink
like,
Cadillac.
blah, 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 blah.
And then she like gets upset and she like goes to her room. He follows her, grabs her face, just ever so gently. Come here, just like, oh, mama.
I think it's a Southern thing.
But like, it was very uncomfortable. Like I whispered to my friend, I was like, please.
Woke cancel culture again.
I'm just saying.
Can't even love your own mom. These dirty libs canceling Elvis for loving his mom.
Just like a lot.
It's a lot of love.
Well, and then in the other scene.
Then she dies. Spoilers.
I mean, like much later, because there's also there's more time.
He dies when he goes to the army. She dies because she's also a drunk.
Right, but there's still more time for her for them to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
When she like whispers into his ear. Like,
he's like, go be Elvis. I love you.
No, she's like, don't do this. And then he's like, Mama, I'm so mad at you. And then like, sorry, my Elvis impression.
Your Southern accent's like
my Southern accent.
Like good, like in an offensive way. Like it's a perfectly offensive.
This is what her voice sounded like.
I don't know.
She was quite
I can't
Southern.
do a good Southern accent without being like offensive to people.
I don't know if you guys know this, which none of you do. Gino doesn't because he wasn't in my theater class in high school. I did a really great monologue in a Southern accent. I grew up in the wrong era, I think, and the wrong part of the country.
You're Jewish, Toby. There's not a lot of
I'm
eras
Jewish and I have a Long Island accent.
Yeah, I know. There's not a lot of eras
so
you could grow up
ugly.
in without being like persecuted. So you're in like a good era.
I'm in a good. You're
Unless
right,
you're going back to getting persecuted, then you're in a bad era.
Right, which I don't want.
Yeah, it's probably from like the 80s to the 90s is probably it.
Yeah.
It's probably it.
Yeah. But so that was tough. If anybody else felt uncomfortable about that, please let us know. Maybe we're the only ones. Maybe we're like too hard on that.
Maybe we're too woke libs.
Maybe I just don't love my mom enough, I guess.
I guess. Yeah,
I've never cupped her face in my hand. Like, no.
Next time she comes over, be like, hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom, I love you.
Yeah.
No, gross. I can't.
So yeah, but again, that's not like a movie critique. It's almost like we're critiquing Elvis at this point, and like because I'm assuming that's based on like
that he had a really close relationship with his mother, which was sweet.
So yeah, I guess it's hard to critique this as a movie. Like it's
it isn't.
It's a good movie.
So something else I want to critique for the movie, which I mean, like I think they did it in a fine way, which is adding the clips of Elvis at the end. So
I almost was like.
Oh my God. I mean, like, it was genius to add actual clips of Elvis
it's like
at the end. It's like a montage of like Elvis and his life and the things he did. I wanted that sprinkled in. You know how like in what's that Tom Hanks movie where he runs?
Oh, you wanted them to CGI?
I wanted like real clips
with the actor in it.
Okay, first of all, we need to get the name of the movie. People are going to yell at us.
Ferris Bueller. What the hell? No, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, right? Where they used like historical clips in there and they changed a little. I wanted like historical clips of Elvis doing the thing at that part of the movie,
like shaking JFK's hand.
I don't know, not fake things.
So you wanted them to CGI the actor?
No, I didn't want it CGI. Listen to me.
That's how they did it in Forrest Gump.
Right, but in Forrest Gump they put his like actual historical things in the part of the movie. I wanted to see when Elvis went on stage in Vegas. I wanted to see him do that. When Elvis, I don't know, was found in Beale Street, like actual pictures of him.
They did a couple of shots where it was like the actor, Austin Butler, and they shot it in a way that was like old cameras and stuff, so it looked like the real ones.
Like it was the real Elvis.
I prefer that.
Because
then you're going to take away from like the actor.
Right, which is why I'm not upset at the way that they did it. I was just thinking, like, I wonder what kind of, like, substance they could have added with real Elvis. But, like, Austin Butler, like, looked like Elvis throughout the movie.
I wanted an over-the-top Animal House style ending because they did a little bit where they're like, blah, 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 was found out that he died. You know, in Animal House where they're like, such and such character
Never
did this.
seen Animal House.
I've seen the end of Animal House.
Oh, okay.
And the part where they're like, Colonel whatever was found out after Elvis died. Like Elvis was the top selling. I wanted them to do that, but with like more people in the movie, like Lisa Marie Presley has kids with Michael Jackson.
Like, here's some crazy stuff that happened that I bet you didn't know
One
about.
of her babies was hung over her after.
Yikes.
I was waiting also for the end credit scene to be Michael Jackson because, like, not only does he kind of take over as the biggest musical star, but he also has babies with Lisa Marie Presley. I think he was married to her. So I was waiting for, like, in a very Thanos kind of way, for, like, as Elvis is dying.
Right,
Michael
then we
Jackson
have Michael
shows
Jackson,
up
no.
with an Infinity Gauntlet.
I mean, they did mention the Jackson
with a
5.
one in white gauntlet.
Right,
one
right,
white
of
gauntlet.
course.
And he's like, I'm doing it myself.
Right, I'm in here. Half.
And then in the sequel about Michael Jackson, it goes to the 90s Michael Jackson, and like Macaulay Culkin shows up, and it's like really weird.
Okay. That would be really weird.
Are we done the episode? Did I finish the episode?
I think you finished it. We're not done, though, because I still want to talk about the movie.
Okay.
So what did you do here? But they did. I want to just, because I think you spoke over me when I mentioned that.
I don't ever speak over you. What are you talking about?
They did mention the Jackson 5 coming in.
Yes.
So, like, that was talked about. It was also like...
ABC.
Yeah. What did I get it confused with? Nothing. I don't think so. Right? So, other parts of the movie, other parts that stood out to you? Anything?
Nope.
Because I had more.
So go ahead.
Okay. So I guess I really liked it. I didn't realize, like, I always knew he had a residency in Vegas. Didn't realize how long it was, how many years.
Forever.
Like essentially, like, most years. Of his, like, a lot of his career.
After he came back from the army, it was like most of his career, yeah.
Right, which sucked because he hated it.
Yeah.
So, like, that was really...
Well, he loved the show, but he was like, I want to bring the show...
Right, to overseas, and he wasn't allowed to. So, like, that really was painful. And then because, like, we were born in 89 and 90, so, like, I feel like the Elvis that we are maybe most familiar with might be Fat Elvis.
Yeah, or like Christmas Elvis, or like
Christmas
Hawaiian
Elvis.
like the one my grandma really liked Elvis.
And so, like that's the Elvis. Like, I wish I knew
Rebel Elvis,
like sexy Elvis, you know. And I just remember hearing, like, people talked about how Elvis died on the toilet.
I remember, he was eating a sandwich. I don't know if that's true or not.
Right, exactly. Like, but these are the stories that we heard
drugs.
about.
Yeah.
Right, but and then the reason that he did drugs is because, like, what else did he have to live for? His kid was with his mom. They got divorced.
Oh, he had adultery to live. I mean, he had some adultry to do.
Right, he had some cheating.
A lot of adultery, apparently. Yeah.
Right, like a lot of, like, sex workers.
Yeah.
So, like, but
you don't know if there were sex workers. Did they mention there were sex workers?
Who do you think they were?
He's Elvis. Literally anybody.
Fans? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like, I'm hoping they got something else out of it besides just, like, having sex.
They probably got drugs.
Drugs. I'm hoping they got, like, cash money.
Plus, like, you get to tell your grandkids, like, hey kids.
Hey.
I slept with You might be Elvis's
Guess
grandson.
what Grandma did?
Yeah.
Grandma had some fun in Vegas.
Yeah.
But, like, it was lonely. Like, he had a really lonely existence while he was...
They just kept showing him living in the same penthouse in the International Hotel.
So sad.
Yeah.
And then, like, his father was his manager.
Sort of, but, like, not really.
Right, because essentially, like, Colonel made
in charge.
All the decisions, which, again, was just, like... it was sad. And, like, throughout the movie, he's trying to, like, justify what he did. Like, he's like, you guys think I'm the villain, but, like... Just wait.
I made Elvis. Yeah.
I made Elvis. Like, and then you at the end, obviously.
I like the scene where Elvis is like, I'm going to leave you. And he's like, well, you have to pay me for all the loans I gave you.
Yeah.
And he starts calculating stuff. I almost said the S word.
I know you did. You don't have to point it out.
He starts calculating stuff from like the 50s. Like, 1 gallon of gas, 50 cents.
Right. The merchandise that I made.
So he just like, he charged him like $8 million to leave the contract. And then Elvis can't leave the contract.
Right. So
I think Elvis should have just left. Because like, you're Elvis, dude. Make one more album and you'd make up for it.
I know. He should have left.
Yeah.
But then he would have lost Graceland and he would have been really upset because he bought Graceland for his mom.
Yeah, right.
That was the thing.
I mean, that's an awesome mansion, but still.
I know. We should go. We should go to Memphis.
Graceland?
Yeah.
I would love to go to Memphis. I'm going to Nashville.
Yep, he's going to Nashville.
I should be like, let's go to Memphis.
Right? See if the
BB
that'll
King.
happen. Yeah.
I think, is BB King still alive? He was in his 90s, I think, when he died.
I don't know.
I'm not looking it up.
We're not looking it up.
Yeah, anything about the movie? Because we keep talking about Elvis's life, but what about the movie?
What about the movie? I thought they did a really good job, and I mentioned this before, transitioning back and forth from the past to like where the present is in the movie. I thought was really well done. Like they didn't change the grain of the shot, or like you just
Every time they showed dying, what's his face?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That was very Moulin Rouge because he
It
was in
was
the casino
very
and
Moulin
again
Rouge.
very sweepy kind of shots.
yes, which was I enjoyed. I think that's also what kept me in the movie because again, it is a long movie. Like
Yeah, it's
Gino and I
long.
went to the bathroom. I went once. He went twice.
I usually, if I drink a drink in the movies, I will go to the bathroom probably at least once. But I will say, Regal Theaters, your medium
It's not
is
a medium.
huge.
It's a large.
So I end up going to the bathroom twice.
Yeah.
Cool it a little bit.
Right. Like I want a medium.
Right, like I want like a medium to me is like I don't know, less than 32 ounces. I mean,
Right.
Jesus Christ.
No, this is the size of my head. I feel
So
like
I
it's-
definitely peed twice, but the bathroom was right next to the theater.
Oh yeah, Gino's fast.
Are we reviewing Raspberry Stadium 12? It's good theater.
Good theater. Always a fan. Been around since we were kids.
Our friend worked there.
Our friend
Boo.
works there. No, boo.
Worked.
Why we don't hate
boo.
it. Okay. Let's see. Anything else? They did a lot of Elvis songs, which was awesome. Obviously, it would have been a pretty crappy movie if like it wasn't
Yes, they
just
played Hound Dog
littered.
a lot. That was like his safe.
Yes.
When you want to rile up a crowd.
So that was awesome. If you're a fan of Elvis music, go see it. If you're not, I don't know why you're seeing this movie to begin with.
If you want to hear Doja Cat rap on an Elvis movie, go see it. Or I
This
think
is
it's
the
Doja
one.
Cat. I actually don't know if it's Doja Cat. I'm not looking it up.
We don't know. He likes rap music, but he's not hip
So yeah,
on it.
for better, for worse.
Definitely for better. I'd watch it again.
I wouldn't. Definitely, it's not a definite for better, but like for better, go watch it.
Yeah, I will say we're not exactly like Oscar bait movie.
Is this Oscar bait?
I would say
I don't
it
think it's
is.
like Oscar bait.
We don't know what qualifies as Oscar bait. if
Yeah,
we're
like
being
maybe
honest.
Tom Hanks will get nominated because he's Tom Hanks. He
And
did a
Austin
great job.
Butler
And Austin
did.
Butler- But who would be? Is Austin Butler the main character or is he the supporting actor? Which one is supporting actor?
Good question. I don't know.
Because they're kind of like both the main character and like, so like I don't know what they've been nominated for. But it's not like an Oscar bait, like boring kind of movie.
It has drama.
It's good. Drama's good.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
saying it's like more interesting than most Oscar-y movies.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like this is not our genre of movie.
Good?
What? Yeah, a good
Not
movie.
Marvel movies?
Because I see horrible horror movies.
Yeah, crap.
That will never be nominated for anything. That sometimes are not scary. And Gino sees comic book movies.
Yay.
So like, I'm not saying that we're not into movies like this, but like generally.
We're not like sticking our pinkies up. But I don't think
Right.
this is like an Oscar movie. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be nominated for stuff. And I'll be like, wow.
We'll see. We're not part of the Academy.
Do we have to do an Oscar show now?
No.
Cool.
Because nobody's going to listen to it.
Cue the
us
intro.
do it.
Outro?
Outro. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening to For Better or Worse. If you like what you heard and want to know more, visit our website at forbetterorworse.buzzsprout.com and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcast so you never miss an episode.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
whatever.
Like and subscribe to our show on YouTube so you can see what we look like and watch our cat who did not make an appearance today.
I know, yeah. Oh, the cat's still scared upstairs.
Oh, that's
Because
right.
that guy knocked on the door.
That's right. That's right. He scared our cat and he bothered us.
Yes.
To let us know what you think, comment, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, comment on YouTube. It really, really helps the show. Share it with your friends, family, lovers. I don't know. See you next time when we talk more movies and TV. Bye.
Bye.